但是因为 coronavirus 我们不能旅游。大家好，我叫 Sam， 我学了中文1年了。But before we get started, 我觉得我要做一杯热茶。一杯热茶。I'm gonna make some tea really quick. 我喜欢加一点这个。So much better. So much better. So roughly 365 days ago, I set the goal to become fluent in Mandarin Chinese, and I'm giving myself 4 years to do it. But before we jump into my process and then ultimately my progress and where I'm at, I want to touch on 3 quick points. Point 1 being fluency. What does that even mean? Nobody can seem to agree. The definition of fluency that I'm rolling with right now is when you can learn more about a language from using it than simply studying it. So that is the definition of fluency that I would like to achieve within 4 years. Second point, why 4 years? Well, you might have seen people on YouTube talk about, how they learned Japanese in 3 months or whatever. And maybe I'm just not a superhuman, but this also isn't like my full-time thing. A lot of time on this channel is devoted to producing Spanish content. So although it seems like an audacious goal to learn Chinese as like a side hobby, that's what it is, and that's why I'm giving myself 4 years. Third point, I'd like to mention, if you enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like, go ahead and subscribe. Technically, this video took a year to put together, so that'd be super cool if you could do that. Also, I do produce a new video every week, so if you want to stick around, see some more Chinese and Spanish stuff, come on over. So as far as my process goes, for vocabulary and grammar, I'm using a couple free apps primarily. I'm using Hello Chinese and Memrise. And this isn't like a complete app breakdown here, but I'll give you a short summary. Hello Chinese is very similar to Duolingo, although I've looked at Duolingo's Chinese course as well. And if you go Mandarin course versus Mandarin course, Hello Chinese, it's just a step above. Across the board, it's just better. So as you go down the lesson tree, previous skills that you've completed slowly deteriorate. So every day when I log on to the app, I kind of refresh all of those skills that have deteriorated, and then I always do 1 to 3 new lessons moving forward, climbing toward the bottom of that tree. Also within the app, there's a little tab. There's some games that you can play. They have an immersion tab, which is fine for like listening comprehension. Now, as far as Memrise goes, honestly, lately I've just been kind of logging on to do the bare minimum, which is learning 5 words per day, and then I just log right back off. Although I have poked around a few times. There's a ton in there, and again, this isn't like a big in-depth app review, but I'll let you know between the two of them, they're both great. Memrise kind of throws you into the deep end a little bit quicker. Almost right off the bat, you're dealing with complete sentences, whereas Hello Chinese holds your hand a little bit. They're more informative and they'll explain things, which is good, up front as a beginner. It's helpful, but that can also pretty quickly turn into a crutch, which holds you back later. So if you're new to learning Chinese, I mean, you've got nothing to lose. You might as well download both of them, give them both a spin. I've enjoyed both. I'm sure upgrading either of them, there's a ton of value to be had there. The reason I haven't upgraded and I'm still in the free version, I'm spending money elsewhere, which takes us from vocabulary and grammar over to speaking and listening, because I have been using Pimsleur. So Pimsleur is an audio course. There's 150 30-minute lessons available in Mandarin. It costs $20 a month. It's just month to month, cancel anytime. And because it's audio, it's perfect for like if you're at the gym, driving to school or work, if you're out walking the dog, whenever you have half an hour of spare time, just put it on. And again, this isn't like an in-depth review and nobody's paying me to say anything, but I will mention that I've learned Spanish to a high level and I've spent considerable time learning how to learn Chinese, if that makes sense. And without a doubt, Pimsleur has been the most impressive language learning tool that I've ever used. So do with that what you will. I would say it's well worth the money. So beyond speaking and listening, I am also learning how to read Chinese characters. And you pick up a little bit of that with Pimsleur, you pick up a little bit of that with Hello Chinese and Memrise, but I've kind of doubled down on characters and I've started reading books published by Mandarin Companion. These are graded readers, so what that means, these are books written, they're short stories, written in Chinese characters for Chinese learners. So they use a lot of common vocabulary and grammar to really get that structure and the characters to stick in your mind, which helps a ton when I'm chatting with somebody in Chinese. Really, I'm chatting with them. I'm still using Chinglish because there's a bunch of little subtle words that I don't know. But the books are entertaining if you struggle with learning characters or if you're curious to learn more. The books are affordable. The stories are good, more than just like Sam Zuo Yi Bei Ru Cha. You know, the stories actually have some weight to them, and they're kind of fun, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm reading Chinese, what's going on here? So within any given week, I'm logging on to both of those apps every single day. Pimsleur, it kind of comes in waves, honestly. Like I'll do a lesson every single day for 2 weeks, and then for the next 2 weeks I might only get 3 or 4 lessons in. Schedule's kind of crazy right now. And then as far as reading goes, it's just fun to pull. I have the digital book, so it's on my phone, on my Kindle app, and I just like to read whenever I can. I'll reread the story over and over again. There's always a couple characters that slow me down, but pretty much that has been the process. Now, as far as progress goes, I'm happy to say that 1年以后我会说一点中文，普通话。I was recently chatting with a buddy, Kelvin, hello, shout out, in Taiwan, and I recorded the conversation, but somehow the audio didn't record, so I'm just going to try to talk to the camera alone. Here we go. 我叫 Sam, 我还没有中文名字。我是美国人，我26岁。我的爸爸是美国人，我的妈妈是英国人。但是他在美国住了30年了。我喜欢学中文。平时周末，我跟我的女朋友一起，我们喜欢看电影和喝葡萄酒。我喜欢看书。我很喜欢旅游，但是因为 coronavirus， 我们不能旅游。谢谢您看我的视频。As far as speaking goes, I've got a ways to go. In the comments below, please post whatever is helping you with Chinese, whether it's reading and writing, or listening and speaking, or general vocabulary and grammar. I've got 3 years to get this down, and I have no doubt that, you know, as we share ideas and learn together, and you guys who are further along can help pull me up, and I'll keep making these videos to keep me accountable. So, boy, it's a long road, but we're gonna get there. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Also, if you want to check out my first 30 days learning Mandarin Chinese, click that. It's over here somewhere.